and comments. Okay, I'll try to answer the questions
Oh, wait a
for
minute.
you.
Maybe I am. Group chat on the side of the screen here.
Yeah, you should see.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna try to get through this thing without completely disconnecting everything. Try not to ruin the whole experience here. So let's just go with what we got.
All right, I had to. See, that's what I was talking about. See, I had to turn the volume down on mine. So, but yeah, okay. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Go for Green Living Live, and our Friday episode for the Homestead Network. Today we have Stephen from Warrior Farms, and he's a good friend, and I'm part of this community. It's actually a community where we actually help each other. It's called Sand Mountain Homestead Community, and it's just where if I need somebody to hold this board, you come hold this board, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, he's a good friend and really good person to talk to, and I thought really interesting. So I decided to bring him on and let y'all go to his channel and subscribe to him because he's only got 9 subscribers. Come on, guys. But anyway, so Steve, tell me a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Steve. My place here is called Warrior Farm. Still pretty new to this whole YouTube thing, so I'm still trying to get the hang of it. But we've posted a few videos and a couple projects that we're working on. And I got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff coming up. I got a whole to-do list of things that I want to do, and there's more things to add to it. So,
yeah, don't we all?
I'm still working on this whole editing video thing, and I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. So maybe the videos will get better as I go along. But I have had some help. You guys and Skip and everybody, they're helping.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna say hello to a few people. Hey, old as dirt. Hey, old ways, new times. Hey, Bear, what's up, man? Hey, Bandana Grandma, how you doing? Hey, Tawana. Hey, Simply Living, how you doing? Simply 7. I'm sorry, so I can't say Simply Circus anymore. Nelson's Homestead. Farmer Meemaw, how you doing? Hey, y'all. Mama Cat. Yeah, we all got lists to do. Hey, Susan. Hey, Christine. I'm right there with you. We have a list a mile long, but all you can do is just chip away at that list. It's part of homesteading, and especially right now, everybody. I had asked have a list. Oh, you got to turn down the volume, but we have a friend coming up here, and he already made the announcement. Full Spectrum Survival. He's coming up here, and he's going to stay in our renter's trailer while he looks for a little bit of land for his own homestead. But anyways, we're excited about that. So we've been over there. Excuse me, painting it.
Yeah.
And we've been painting the ceilings and and the walls and all that. It's a lot of work. And so, but anyway, we've been, making sure everything's good to go for him, because we will have another family. He's a family. So, but anyway,
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, Skip was telling me a little bit about what you guys are doing, and I hate painting, so I don't want
to. Yeah, you're so tall, but I don't know.
I'd love to come help, but I'm going to school and everything. First part, in the mornings, so it's kind of difficult for me to break away from that and go do stuff. But in the afternoons, I'm pretty much free for whatever.
Oh, it's okay. He'll be here tomorrow. We're probably going to pull a late night and finish up out there. Hey, Mr. Rain. But anyway, so I know you're out there, and I've seen the duck march, and I think that's really cool. What kind of ducks do you raise again?
Yeah, those are they're khaki Campbells.
Khaki camels.
Yeah, they're a domesticated breed. They're a cross between an Indian runner and a mallard, a wild mallard. And
Oh,
they
okay.
say everything I've read about them said that their broodiness has been bred out of them, and their ability to fly has been bred out of them. And for the most part, that's true as far as flying goes. But man, I've had more of them go broody and want to sit on eggs than more so than my chickens. Um,
So
but for some
is that a
reason,
bad thing?
unfortunately, the eggs aren't hatching. I don't know what's wrong with that. But.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're not hatching. So you just raise these purely for meat, right? Or
Well, no, we're going to we intend because they're not much of a meat bird really. There's not a lot of meat on them. I mean, if you were, I guess, at desperate times call for desperate measures, you could eat one. But they're great egg layers. These
oh,
birds
okay.
these birds lay like 320 eggs a year on average.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Robin just said that too. Said, hey, Robin, uh, uh, Mama Bear. But she said they lay a lot of eggs, and so I shows what I know about the ducks. We have a couple of Peking ducks. That's all we got. Uh, so them birds are just for laying eggs. So and so apparently, how old are they? Are they right now? I mean, is
Well, they range, man. Ducks are a unique little critter as compared to chickens. What I've noticed about ducks, okay, well, ducks and chickens, they're both obviously a flocking animal, but a duck is kind of a little bit more committed to its flock, if you want to say that. Chickens kind of, when they get to a certain age, they kind of just go out on their own, do their own thing. But a duck, at least our ducks, they tend to look out for one another. If they're marching down to the lake or up to the lake, and then somebody gets lagging behind, they'll actually stop and wait for them, or turn around and go back and get them.
oh,
We've got 3 young ducks right now that we actually hatched with 7 other chickens in an incubator. They all hatched around the same time. Well, these ducks believe that those chickens are part of their flock, and we're keeping them in different areas now. But every day like clockwork, those 3 ducks march up to the chicken coop and they sit outside the pen looking for those other chickens.
well, that's pretty cool though. I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, ducks are pretty neat birds, man. They're I'm learning a lot about. I've never had ducks, so I'm learning new stuff about them all the time. But one of the I brought up that whole story because I wanted to say, you asked me how old they are. We have some that are very young, some that are probably a year or so old, but we've got one left from our original 7 that we had, and we just had them living on the lake. They were spending their days and nights out there on the water. And was it not last fall, but the previous fall, every morning I would wake up and we'd have one less duck, until we got down to 1 duck.
Wow.
And that 1 duck, it was really kind of sad, man, if you were here to see it, because that 1 duck sat down there on a rock by itself and called for its flock for weeks and weeks and weeks. It sat there trying to find its flock until we got 3 more birds, 2 females and a male. And I figured that, they would eventually find each other, because we were keeping the new ones up here in a pen, because we wanted them sleeping in a cage that we had instead of sleeping on the water.
Yeah.
But I actually had to force those ducks to get together and find each other. And finally, once they did, and they accepted each other into their, accepted that new one in their flock, everything was okay. But that duck sat there and cried for its flock, I guess, for weeks, man. It was actually kind of sad. But ducks are really cool animals.
So what size eggs are they? Like the bigger than a chicken egg, or since they're a small duck, are they about the same size as a chicken, or?
What I've noticed is the younger the bird, the smaller the egg.
Yeah.
When they start laying eggs, and I may be wrong about this, but it seems to me from what I've noticed is that, yeah, they start laying eggs when they're young, but they're not necessarily fertilized eggs. They're just laying eggs. As they get older, get more mature, their eggs get a little bit bigger, and they're probably, the size of a good-sized chicken egg, or maybe a little bit larger.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we found some that were huge. I actually think they were goose eggs, but because we have wild geese come in and lay and land in here sometimes. So,
well, you should have incubated those, but
I wish we had the incubator at the time, but we didn't.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, well, our duck, the Peking ducks, they're big, they're huge, and Krista really likes to use them in our baking, and because they're so rich. But as far as scrambling and everything, they're still just eggs for me for scrambled eggs. But everybody else says they can taste the difference. I can't taste the difference, but
they. I didn't know all this either, but apparently a lot of professional bakers use duck eggs when they're making cakes and cookies and things like that because of the richness of the egg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robin just said that too, that the yolks of the duck eggs are typically richer. I need to get me a couple of them ducks in. I saw you on Farmies. You were selling them.
Yeah, we've got. See, right now we've got a kind of a disproportional number of male to female. We've got 10 males and 11 females, and then we got those 3 young ones that I don't know what they are yet. I think they're all females, which would be great if they are, but I'm not 100% sure until they get a little bit older. But I do want to get rid of some of my males. However, it wouldn't be fair to give people a bunch of males and 1 female, so I'd have to kind of either just sell them as pairs, or if you want just, a decorative animal to be on your water, the males are, they got the dark heads, kind of like mallards. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we would want them for the egg production, and because
and that's what everybody really, for this type of bird, that's what everybody wants, unless you've got just extra money to decorate your yard with ducks. I don't have that, but
you have to. So you have to have a male for them to be laying, or
no, they'll lay without a male, but you can't get a fertilized egg without a male.
Yeah. Well, we don't. We live off solar, so we couldn't run an incubator even if we wanted to.
Well, now let me back up a little bit. We had them in a very small cage. It was actually a dog kennel before I got this larger house built. Now they're in like a 32 by they're like a 32 by 12 duck house. It's almost as big as my own house.
Wow.
But we had them in a dog kennel before I got that thing built. And I mean, at the time we had, I think we had 6 or 7 females. Well, every one of those females was laying an egg every day. And pretty soon there was like 50 eggs in this nest.
Wow.
And we had 3 hens sitting right next to each other on eggs. They were like sharing eggs, sharing the nest. And then the eggs started, some of the eggs did hatch. Don't get me wrong, they didn't all not hatch, but most of them did not. And the next batch, since then, none of them have, except for what we incubated. But this particular batch, they hatched out 10 out of, like I said, probably 50 eggs. And it was really kind of funny because the mamas didn't know who the babies belonged to, and the babies didn't know which mama they belonged to. So they all just kind of gaggled together. And it was funny to watch. But, that's right now we've got 24 chickens or ducks, excuse me.
Wow.
24 chickens too, I guess. But
well, Robin asked, what what is a breeding 2-year-old go for around your area?
We've gotten different prices for them. You know, the guy we originally started buying our ducks from, he was asking $25 a head for a full grown duck. However, he gave us 2 ducks for $35, I think, once upon a time. And then he gave us a free duck. And then, so I don't know, it was like $20, I guess, maybe for a duck. And then if you buy them by the set, we can give you a discount. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
Does $20 sound like a fair price for a duck?
I don't know. I hadn't
I
bought
know
any ducks,
people are
but
getting $4 or $5 for fertilized eggs.
yeah, what
Which is,
I personally would give $40 for a breeding pair of ducks. You know that.
yeah.
I mean, just for the homestead, I would definitely do that. At least that's what I probably will talk to you about that later. But now,
Okay.
tell me, now a chicken, they lay eggs the first year, and then the second year is their best year, and then every year after that they have a drop off. So pretty soon they're just a useless eater. Are ducks the same way? Are those ducks the same way, or they pretty much lay all the time for many years?
Well, we haven't been in it many years yet, but so far, we haven't seen any real slowing in their egg production.
So pretty much an egg a day is what you're seeing, or
Yeah. Well, again, I have to rephrase this. For some reason, they stopped laying completely last month. We haven't had a duck egg in over a month. But up until that point, yeah, we were getting 8 or 9 eggs a day, to the point where we had so many of them, and we weren't really ready to deal with that many eggs. And that's something that we've kind of discovered with this whole homesteading thing, is that kind of really got to get your infrastructure set up beforehand. But we weren't ready to deal with that many eggs, so we actually got to the point where we were just boiling them and using them as dog food, which is kind of a
wow,
shame. But
yeah,
you know,
for
rather than just
but
letting them go bad, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta figure out some kind of barter with somebody. We ended up pickling a bunch of ours during the springtime when everybody's laying like crazy. We had like 250 eggs at one time, and I was like, "What are we gonna do with all those eggs?" So we got these huge gallon jars, and we pickled a bunch of them. And
Yeah.
you know how good fermented food is for you, but yeah, I'm interested in duck. I'm sorry to talk about ducks. We didn't plan on talking about ducks this much,
I
but
know. Hey, whatever, man. We'll talk about whatever you want. We'll talk about, I don't know, wood floors.
well, the ducks, you know, just were interesting to me. I saw that on Farmies where somebody was asking, "Does anybody got any ducks for sale?" And you said you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to be interested in some ducks. But you just recently, I happen to know this too. You just built a big greenhouse. What you know, it's not a little bitty greenhouse, but it's a decent sized greenhouse.
It
How
is
big
actually
is
a
it?
really nice greenhouse. It's I built it adjacent. I actually connected it to the exterior wall of my shop. So it's 36 feet long. On the, you know, at the ground it is 15 feet wide, and then it kind of slopes. It slopes up, and then it turns to a really sharp pitch, like a 312 pitch up to the roof. It's where it joins the shop. So at the highest peak, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 feet tall, 15 feet wide, 36 feet long.
Wow.
There's pictures of it. If you go to Facebook, go to Warrior Farm on Facebook, there are pictures of it. And my YouTube channel, there's a video of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I saw you were insulating the sides and the front, the lower front with straw bales. That's a good idea.
yeah,
Um,
I've got you to thank for my addiction to straw bales, by the way. My chicken coop is made out of straw bales.
all right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been, I built that thing 3 years ago, and I tried, you know, I mixed up some red clay plaster, and I
Yeah.
plastered the inside of it, but I never could get the mix right. It kept cracking and whatnot. But I never did put any plaster on the outside. So it's been standing for 3 years with the roof on it, the long, the kind of wide overhangs, unprotected basically for 3 years, almost 3 years. But it hasn't shown any real sign of degrading. As long as that straw bale can dry, and doesn't stay wet.
Yeah.
Because it does get some rain on it when the rain is blowing. But as soon as it dries out, it's good to go. So one of these days, I would really like to put some lime plaster on the outside of that thing. So anybody knows anything about lime render, lime-based plasters and things like that, I'm really interested in that information.
Yeah. Well, the me getting you interested in straw bales is actually, it's an interesting story in itself. Skip came down to one of my events and then asked me to go to his event and teach classes at his event, and that's where I met you. And then you came down to my place and you were checking things out.
Yeah.
But this year we're actually combining all those events to our one big event, but we'll get into that later. But so
Yeah.
it's just a small world, and it's just working how it works out weird, but we're all going to be in the same big event again.
It really is. It's been a really cool several years, and it kind of gives me chills when I think about it, because when I think about the journey that I've been on for the last several years, after I retired out of the Navy, everything has been just directing me here, and it's really cool how Father kind of directs us where we need to be and puts us where we got to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and puts people in our life that we need to know too. So,
Absolutely.
speaking of which, Skip just popped in.
I
Y'all's
see.
homestead.
I figured out how to do that. I can see the messages now. I'm like I told you, I'm getting better at this YouTube thing.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty soon you'll have to do your own live show, and that's another thing. We're painting. Me and Krista are painting, and we were going to paint till late hours. So I asked Steven, I said, well, I asked Skip first. I said, can y'all cover my live stream tonight? You just got to go on my channel and just do that. And he said, no, I can't do that. I'd be staring at the screen the whole time. And so he said, I'll get Steven to do it. So he calls Steven up and he says, Steven will do it. So, and then
okay, yeah. Let me. He calls me up. First, he sends me a text and says, "Hey, call me because Daniel wants us to do his live show tonight, right?" And I thought, okay, he wants to do this little back and forth chat thing. That's kind of cool. I'll do that. And I call him. He's like, "Yeah, Daniel wants us to do the live stream," and never once did Skip say. Never once, Yaz Homestead, did Skip say, hey, he wants you to do this by yourself for the first time ever. So, yeah, I'm glad I figured that out before, a couple hours ahead of time before I actually had to try to do this thing by myself, because all these people over here watching this thing would just be staring at the screen going, who is this idiot? And why is he just sitting there picking his nose?
What? And that's the thing about it. I had he had signed into my account, and he had and I was setting him up to where he was going to automatically start playing at a certain time, and he'd been sitting there waiting for me. Where's Daniel?
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got that worked out, though.
I do apologize for pulling you away from your painting project, though.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. It's ain't no big deal. I made a commitment to this to the Homestead Network a long time ago. So you like to keep your commitments. But everybody's just going crazy talking about in the chat, and I was Skip, and Skip said you got set up a minute ago. So
yeah.
But yeah, but your greenhouse the other day, when it was super cold, and actually you didn't heat it or anything, it stayed above freezing in there, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've started a little experiment, and it seems to be working, although you know, the outside temperature has gone up substantially since the other day. It was below freezing then, but I built a huge pile of compost, or started composting
Yeah.
inside the greenhouse. And you know, I took a piece of 5-foot 2x4 wire, welded wire, and just created a like a 3-foot circle, connected it together. So it's 5 foot by 3 foot diameter. Filled it full of hay, grass cuttings, chicken poop, duck poop, you name it. It's all in there. And I had it stacked like 6 feet tall. It was mounted over the top of this fence. Within 3 days, I go out there and this stuff had compressed down to 3 feet. So it started creating heat.
Yeah.
I got to thinking, all that heat is inside that compost and very little of it is coming out. I got to come up with something to capture this heat. So I took some PVC pipe, some that I got from Skip, and some elbows and whatnot that I had on hand. And I built this contraption to where I have inlets at the bottom, and the pipe kind of snakes up through, you know, up through the center, and then outlet at the top. And I restacked the whole pile of compost on top and around that, inside that fence, that little section of fence. I did that the day before yesterday.
Wow.
And it's going to have to, you know, kind of restart itself and get heating again. But already I can feel, you know, hot air coming out of the top of that thing. So hopefully once that compost reactivates and gets really hot inside, it's going to start pumping out some heat in that thing and keep that place warm. Because we got another cold snap coming up here in just a few days.
Oh, really? Bummer.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying this warm temperature.
What was it here today? In the 60s, right?
60s.
Like that.
Wow.
But it was in the 90s. It was over 90 degrees in my greenhouse because the sun was shining on it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Mine does that too, as big as it is. It'll be 90, 100 degrees on days like that. But today here, it was 76, you know, and Robin, Big Bear Homestead, said it was 76 there too. So it was warm.
I mean, it started out supposed to rain all day, and then the sun came out and it got, I mean, you see I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. That's what I've been running around in all day.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Painted short sleeve shirt. Yeah, I'm a pretty good painter, but you know, you're gonna get paint on you, especially painting everything, you know, cabinets and everything. And it's white. You know, he wanted it white, so it's white. It's a white, everything's white, and it's so bright in there. So I understand why somebody wants a white house, because you don't need much light then, because everything's so bright. But anyway, man, I hope that experiment works for that compost. I'm really curious. I've seen it done before, where people heating up you know, water for showers and stuff like that. But they always had to put green and more manure, and they had to keep that system going and turning and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
well, that
you
was, and I've seen that too, and I've actually seen people, different YouTube videos where people were heating their greenhouses with it, smaller greenhouses than what I've got. So I had to go kind of industrial scale with my tower of poop, as I like to call it. So I went, you know, I made a huge pile, and it's gonna,
yeah.
when it activates and starts getting hot again, it should put out a lot of heat. And, you know, it's, like I said, it's an experiment, so I might have to change the diameter of the pipe in the thing. I might have to put more linear footage inside of it, you know, so the air stays inside of it longer. Whatever. I just used what I had on hand at the time, so I didn't want to have to go out and spend any money on PVC pipe.
Yeah, we got hey Doug, Off Grid Doug and Stacy popped in. You know, Donna's in here.
Hello.
Now, I know everybody, you know, the other YouTubers in here, they got approached by that homestead rescue. You know, they were they wanted me to go on to be an expert, in this homestead rescue, to go on before the expert got there and say what the homestead needed and all this kind of stuff. But they did this thing, and this guy, the Alaskan guy, I'm not going to say bad things about anybody or anything like that, but he can cut down a tree. He can really cut down a tree. But he built this greenhouse, and he used this heat sink thing where he dug down in the ground, he put rocks in it, and then pumped air in there all day, the hot air from the greenhouse, and pumped it down into the rocks, so that at nighttime that they would give back the heat. I mean, my greenhouse would have to be, that heat sink would have to be immense, but it was a good idea. I thought, it was insulated around there, but if y'all want to see that, just go check out the homestead rescue shows there. Oh, excuse me. They're on YouTube, and one of them he did up in the mountains and put this greenhouse inside the mountain. It didn't look like it got much light to me, but but they were in the negative temperatures. But anyway, the reason I'm saying that is that might be something, as efficient as your greenhouse already is, that might be something that you might think about, is having a heat sink in the ground.
Well, I've thought about that in kind of a different context. What I was thinking about doing, because when you get a free weekend, I've got all my tanks ready to start my aquaponics system. Just throwing that out there. But what I was going to do is, underneath my grow beds, I've got probably still half a dump truck load of red clay, and I was thinking about building a rocket stove or something in there. But at the very least, underneath my grow beds, where would typically probably be just kind of wasted space, thinking about massing some of that clay in there and just allowing it to absorb heat during the day and releasing it at night. And then, of course, keeping the water warm in the tanks and whatnot. There's a whole bunch of different ways of doing it. It's just something you got to stay on top of, I think, to get it to work right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a good idea, that mass being in there, especially. I mean, you said it's south facing, and you probably get lots of sun in there. But yeah, the aquaponics. Yeah, that's. I guess that was a hint towards me about the aquaponics. You're ready for your aquaponics?
Just whatever, man. Let's. We can do a show about it.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. We could do videos. Yeah, absolutely. Put them on there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But as soon as this is done, this getting full spectrum settled in, I'm ready for some different work than moving and painting. To tell you the truth, yeah, aquaponics is fun for me. But yeah, we're not getting a lot of questions. Everybody just kind of talking amongst ourselves in the chat room. But
let me ask you a question then, because I went to this. I don't know what you call it, little seminar thing that was put on by the extension office here.
Yeah.
They're talking about tomatoes. It's something they're going to be doing once a month, talking about different gardening aspects and different things. Anyway, when it was all said and done, I went to the guy, and this guy is a doctor down at Auburn, I believe. He's some kind of big extension officer, yada yada, something or another. Anyway, I asked him about, what do you think about aquaponics? And his response to me was, other than don't do it, it's great. And I was like, well, why do you say that? And he was saying, the offset of keeping the fish alive opposed to the amount of things you can grow, it's kind of, it's really not worth it, in his opinion, unless you're doing it as a hobby or on a small scale type of thing. What's your take on that, man?
Well, he apparently has never seen an aquaponics system before. I can grow anything in the aquaponics. I can root anything in the aquaponics. Grow it bigger, better, faster. I mean, it's not, you you're right about keeping the fish, the fish alive. I have lost some fish in these cold temperatures, and this year I lost 6. Last year I
Yeah.
lost a lot more, but uh, it's a learning curve and it's a learning process. And now that my fish are healthy and happy, and today uh, I was counting them. I have over 40 that are bigger than 2 pounds. So
Wow.
uh, I know that's what I said. Wow, and we eat them. So but we normally don't during this coldest part because they're a little stressed and the cold temperatures and stuff, and we don't want to
Hmm.
mess with them. But I don't know if that doctor knows. I don't know what he's saying about tomatoes.
Well,
We
I mean, he knew what he was talking about as far as that goes. I think his opinion of aquaponics was based off of large scale kind of commercial production. Uh, and frankly, I don't know enough about aquaponics to comment on either
well
side of it. But
well if you check out like Murray's aquaponics, Murray's that I don't know his channel or anything, but he's an Australian guy. He teaches how to people to grow commercially aquaponics, but it's aquaponics in cities and stuff is you don't have to order the food, and it's the new way to grow. It's I just think he's not well educated in aquaponics yet. So
maybe so. Well, I mean, it seems to me, and this is a conversation I've been having with Skip past several days, is you can get to the point where you're producing, however you're doing it, the food that you're feeding your fish, your ducks, your chickens, whatever, then you're really getting ahead of the curve there because um, the feed for me, this whole uh, homesteading lifestyle is all about kind of getting myself out of the systems, and not just the system, but the systems. And
yeah,
that includes the grocery store system. Uh, you know, so I got a whole bunch of different little ideas bouncing around in my nugget up here, thinking about ways that I can produce the food. Like, what is it? The duckweed. I got some
yeah,
duckweed growing, and I assume the fish eat the duckweed pretty regular.
yeah,
But another option, I think, which would be a good one, and maybe not for fish, I don't know, but for chickens, is black soldier fly. Have you ever done any research on harvesting black soldier fly larvae as a feed
well
source?
well they the Big Bear Homestead, they actually do that, and they harvest those, and they have the buckets over there, and they actually fall into the chickens. They eat them. We're about to start a mealworm factories for chickens, because I already dried duckweed for the chickens. I already dried ducks would eat duckweed all day long and not even eat anything else if they had a choice. So that's probably why they do they call it duckweed, because ducks love it so much. But
Yeah.
I'm drying out chickweed, duckweed, and I'm trying to get high proteins for the chickens so they keep laying. And we're going to add the mealworms, and I learned from my buddy at Big Bear Homestead on how to do the black soldier flies and all that kind of stuff, and try to get away from the
Is
feed stores, because last year we had a complete corn crop failure. So I had no corn and I planted it 3 times, three
mhm.
different times, and it just wasn't the year for growing corn for me.
Yeah.
Uh,
We had
but you,
corn. We grew it. The raccoons ate more of it than we got, but we had corn.
oh, you had some? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
we
I,
didn't
I
have
see that
any.
Big Bear is on here, and he says yes, we do. It works great. Now, I want to clarify. I want to try to clarify something for myself. Is he doing black soldier fly, or is he doing just the regular fly larva where you got like chicken heads and meat and things like that spoiling and drawing in flies? Because it's my understanding that it's two different things. two different types of flies. So if you could clarify that maybe in the comments for me, because I just want to make sure I'm
Yeah.
not doing the wrong thing, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, he'll probably answer in a second. Yeah, Robin, his wife said you can even do a maggot bucket. So
yeah, well, Skip is doing a maggot bucket with
yeah,
chicken heads.
he said Big Bear said black soldier flies. So
If you have black soldier flies, you won't have any other flies. My wife will love that.
oh, and my wife would love that too. I need to figure that out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
yeah, when
Okay,
you
so Big Bear, question for you: what do you use as the compost medium, and do they produce larvae in the winter?
oh, I was drinking my sweet tea. Hey, look at this. Hey, while you're waiting for the answer, y'all know my cup has been heisted. She's got my cup over there, you know, because she said, if you're going to go do that live show, I'm keeping your cup over here. So you'll be over here to get it when the live show's over. Oh, there's Big Bear's answer. So
They eat the other larvae. Wow. Can you use regular grass cuttings? I know from what I've seen, most people put kitchen scraps or whatever, but if you can use just regular grass cuttings, we haven't had them lay in the winter. Okay. Well,
yeah, I guess that's where you would need the mealworms on the inside, and then of course I want to learn all this too. So you know,
yeah.
yeah, that's yeah, Big Bear, he raises a lot of chickens out there, and they're
So
native
that's
to
another
that
thing.
area.
Native. I thought they were native everywhere, but maybe not.
Yeah, so yeah, we learned a lot about chicken feed today. So yeah,
Yes, I'm in Alabama too,
yeah,
as well. Also,
yeah, and in Albertville, we're actually really close to where we're going to have the convention.
Mhm.
The homestead event hosted by the Sand Mountain Community Homestead. So
Yeah. Are you still there?
what is?
Oh,
Yeah, no, it says Daniel. What is and patting? What? I don't know what and patting is. Uh, pork chopping. I don't know what that is. But anyway,
painting. I think it's supposed to be painting.
painting. Anna painting. Oh, Anna was painting. How did you know Anna was painting something? But she was painting pictures to go on the refrigerator. But she's not here. She's actually with her aunt. She's spending the night, and it's the first time we've had uh, a night to our own in over a year. But we're painting, so you know that's not good.
Yeah,
But anyway,
simply living. Yeah, we're gonna be. We'll be at the convention there in June 1st to the 4th. I think
yeah.
I'm gonna be teaching fundamentals of marksmanship for handgun. I don't know. I think
Oh,
that's what
it's
Skip wants me to teach.
yeah. Simply living. Simply seven living. That was her her daughter up there. So, but yeah, she's spending the night tonight. She's having a spend the night party with her aunt, and they have a little puppy, and she said she's giving it to that little. It's a little Jack Russell puppy, and you know how hyper they are. So she's keeping
Yeah.
them busy. So, uh, yeah, the now everybody's so everybody's been talking about the event and all that kind of stuff. Me and Yaz Homestead were actually talking about that today, and I know we're going to have some really talented people there teaching classes. And you said you're going to teach classes on what now?
I think you want me to teach fundamentals of marksmanship with handgun.
No, okay, okay, it sounds good. I know Big Bear is going to be teaching trapping there, and maybe I'll teach some soldier fly stuff or
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Had to get hot on that.
Yeah, that would be something that I would be definitely interested in. Simply Seven Living. Oh yeah, Simply Seven Living. She's doing the advertising. They're going to be there too. Their whole family's going to be there. Uh, I mean, I mean, off grid with Doug and Stacy. They keep giving me a hard time. Well, if that works out and all that kind of stuff, but I think they're going to be there. But so uh, yeah, her booth will have some marketing flyers and stuff like that. So uh, I'm sorry, I'm reading questions. So
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up. It's going so fast. Well, it's stopped now, but you know, I'm slow.
yeah, I'm slow too. Oh, so what did your husband say, Mama Cat? Are y'all gonna be able to go? It's gonna be huge, and Saturday is gonna be Family Day. It's gonna be like a county fair, with the pie eating contest and the axe throwing and the baking contest and the pie judging, and it's going to be tons of classes going on too, and along with the barter auction, and it's just going to be a really fun family day. Potato sack races for you and your kids, and the running the egg thing. So it's just going to be a blast for everybody. It's something that I think has been lost, and we're gonna bring it back. Uh,
I've seen a couple of posts here about wanting some more information about that event. One person saying, "Where is it?" And the other person is wanting to know, "Never been to an event. Can you share those so I know what it's about, rules and
yeah.
costs, etc."
Well, we are we're actually building the website as we were talking. With the website is being built, and then all the information will be on there, and the ticket price is it'll be on the website and all that, and there'll be camping there available, and but once we post it, and we're going to advertise it on all of our channels, all the YouTubers are going to be there. We're going to advertise it on all their channels. You need to sign up for the classes early because they're going to fill up quick, and this, class sizes will be 35, 40 people, but and you'll have a chance to go to each class at least twice, so you're going to, during this 4 days, you're going to be tied up. You're going to be busy taking classes, and doing all these other things, but you'll be able to take them all. That's one thing that Skippy Yaw's Homestead, he was real good about that. He made sure you were able to take each class, at least twice.
Yeah.
I know when I was teaching there, I taught the whole time, either solar and then cob mixing. So, but this year Krista's doing cob mixing and I'm just doing solar. So, and
Yeah.
aquaponics. So,
Well, yeah, and all the details will come out, like you said, later on. But one important thing to keep in mind is that all money exchanged for this thing will have to be done in advance, because on Saturday there won't be any money exchanged.
yeah.
So if you want to attend the event, anticipate that.
Yeah. Of course, if you're
you got
coming
questions about that, there's reasons behind that I don't really want to get into right now in this format. But we can talk about it offline or whatever.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's most people know anyway. So, but anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
but yeah, this yeah, I see simply seven is deleting her daughter's comments. Yeah, you can have campfires and you can cook out. I know Full Spectrum Survival is going to do a huge community tent for people that want to hang out with everybody, and and when we went to I don't have the shirt on now, but it's one of my favorite shirts. But it was Short Creek Short Creek homesteading event, and we sat by the campfires, and people get out their guitars and everybody was singing and the fires were just blazing. It was awesome. We had an incredible time, and had marshmallows and beef hot dogs and and all kinds of stuff. And we're gonna have a big animal there that they're gonna take care of that animal while we're there, and butcher it and let actually go through the classes, and then we're gonna cook it up and feed it y'all. So all the dinners will be taken care of. Breakfast and lunch you'll be on your own, but the dinners will be taken care of as long as they last. You can't come 2 hours after we start serving and say, "What's for dinner?" It probably I'll be gone by now.
Yeah. Hey, how are your bees doing?
My bees are they're doing good. I mean,
Yeah.
I have 3 hives, and I'm feeding them right now. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but doing the 2/3 sugar and 1/3 water, uh, and they're tearing it up. But the hives, they they weigh about one hive is about 50 pounds, and the other 2 are about 100 pounds each. So
Really? Yeah. Well, that's good. I lost 10 since
you
the
lost
fall.
10 hives.
Yeah, I'm down to
Wow.
5. Well, we had a pretty good spring, and they made a lot of honey, and we robbed them out. We robbed their honey supers in the first week of July. But I always make sure to leave enough honey in the hive bodies for them to feed themselves on and whatnot, and get through the summer and then into the fall. But we had that drought this summer, and in the fall we had a lot of bloom. We had a lot of goldenrod and aster and whatnot blooming, but there was no water, no rain, and there was no nectar in any of the plants. So lots of pollen, no nectar, no honey. So we fed, throughout the fall and into the winter, into the early part of the winter, until things just started freezing. So we're down to 5 hives, but I think we're doing okay. There's a little plant that blooms this time of year. It's a ground cover type of plant. I can't remember the name of it, but it has a tiny little purple flower on it. And for the last several years, that's what I've been seeing them in December and January, bringing pollen and whatnot in off of those flowers. So we're not feeding at the moment. They seem to be doing well, so they're finding something out there. I assume that little purple flower is blooming out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I got my fingers crossed that we're going to even make it through the spring with any bees. Yeah.
Well, I hope. And I lost. I had a hive last year, and I lost mine during the wintertime last year, and this year I caught 3 hives. I set traps, and I caught all 3 of them within a week. But yeah, so I was just lucky there. But I didn't get any honey this year. Robin, I don't know what fondant is. Have you ever fed your bees fondant? Fondant? I don't know. Fondant? Have you ever heard of that?
I'm trying to find that question.
It was Robin Rear.
Fondant to feed your bees.
Fondant.
I've never fed them fondant. When I've had to feed, I just use sugar water. But I did find out something that I didn't know about feeding bees, that you should not use brown sugar because of the molasses. It kills them, makes them sick.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. So, we've just been feeding them regular sugar.
Not that I've done that, but if you do have bees and you don't have white sugar, don't feed them brown sugar.
Yeah, I noticed my bees. We had a little bit of flour stored up, and the bugs. I don't know. They live in the flour anyway, but they got the weevils or whatever, and so we composted the flour, the rest of the flour, we put it in there, and then the bees kind of went nuts over it. Is that a
Yeah.
bad thing?
You know, I don't think it's a bad thing. Quite frankly, I think they've been desperate this year. I saw bees apparently foraging off of down pine trees that were rotting on the ground. I guess they were just trying to get the sap or whatever was left in them off of them. I find bees in places that you would just never expect them to be. Then they're looking for food, I would assume. Uh,
I
so
know.
whatever was in those flowers, I would imagine probably they were just getting whatever was left.
No, it was flour. Like baking flour.
Oh, flour. Okay,
Yeah,
white flour.
yeah. I threw
Well,
it
then
in
I
the
don't have any idea.
compost.
Sorry.
You don't have any idea. I don't either. Uh, we covered it up. I thought they were thinking it was like some kind of pollen or something. They were collecting it, and I didn't think it was good. Uh, I know it's a starch, right? So
Yeah.
it'll turn sugar in their bellies, but I didn't know if they would for them. And I asked another bee expert, and he said I don't know either. So I would cover it up, but they still trying to get to it, and so I don't
Hmm.
know. The hives don't seem to be suffering, and they're still getting their sugar water. I only feed one feeder, and they pretty much go through it a day. The three hives go through a
Yeah.
gallon of sugar water a day. So
Yeah.
I don't know
When
how they do it.
before I lost, well, I guess I'm down to about five now at last count. But I was feeding 10, and they'd go through a 5 gallon feeder in a day. You know,
Wow. How many
so
how many hives you got right now?
I've got 5 live hives, and I've got 10 empty sets of boxes, and frames and
10.
wax and everything to go with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
However,
that's
hey, if I come out of spring with 5 hives, then I've got all the equipment ready to go ahead and start making splits and catching swarms and whatnot. So
yeah. There's
I don't
a
have to build any more boxes this year.
there's a bunch of wild hives around here because they come to my largest hive, the one box that weighs about 100 pounds.
Hmm.
They've came and tried to raid that one. A wild hive came and tried to raid that, and they weren't too successful. But there was like a 25, 30 dead bees out front of it, and
Yeah,
they were trying to break in through one of the supers. And I was out there watching, and I was like, "What can I do? There ain't nothing I can do. It's just
yeah,
a wild hive." But I plan on catching them next year. I'll be setting a trap for them.
yeah. I think I'm going to go pretty heavy on the swarm traps in the spring because I got to get my numbers back up. I'm
Yeah,
trying. I figure if I can manage, if I can get up to about 25 or 30 hives, that's enough for me to manage. Me and my wife to manage on our own, and it's
well,
probably actually a lot. It's probably more than we need to try to tackle. But
Arnie asked if we're feeding them organic sugar, and I don't feed mine organic sugar because they eat. I mean, to make a 1 gallon thing of that is 10 cups of sugar.
yeah,
You know, and so that's a lot of sugar. Organic that would be like 25 bucks. So so yeah, I just feed them regular sugar. What do you use? Do you use organic or you just use regular sugar?
just regular old pure cane sugar. Um, and I try not to feed. If I don't have to feed, I don't feed. But there are, desperate times. So
Yeah, beet
and this
sugar
year
is.
was definitely one of them.
Yeah, beet sugar is GMO. I know it's GMO, but they want to eat stevia. I'm growing a ton of stevia, but they want to eat that. But I have found something.
They love
I was
peaches.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's one thing I was going to. They love cherries too.
Really?
I cut down a wild cherry, and uh, I was cutting it down, and it had cut a groove in it. Where I was cutting groove, and that groove was laying there, and it rained, and then it filled up with water, and it sat there for a few days. I wasn't in a real hurry to get rid of it, but then I came back a couple of days later, and there were 1,000 bees there drinking that water off that from that cherry tree, the wild cherry tree that I
Huh.
had cut down. And I've asked bee experts about it, and they didn't know nothing. So I figured they know better. The bees know best. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
Well, the thing about bees is people try to manage them, and yeah, there are things you can do because there are things that are killing them, but they live in the wild without our assistance. You know, so what I've found with my bees, unless I find a specific problem that needs to be addressed, I leave them alone and let them be bees. As much as I can. Um, I'll check them. I'll check them periodically just to make sure that they still have a queen and that she's laying eggs and all that good stuff. But for the most part, I just leave them alone, man. Try not to mess with them too much. And
yeah,
then, I just monitor the environment and see what happens with with the honey, with the nectar flows. And usually in the spring, we're good to go here because we got privet and blackberries and poplar trees and just everything growing, but in the late summer and the fall, we would really rely on that goldenrod and the aster. And when there's no rain, we went 9 months with no significant rain. My
oh
lake,
yeah,
I got a acre and a half lake out front, and it was nearly 3 feet lower than it normally is.
let the bees. Big Bear said, "Let the bees be bees." But yeah,
Yeah.
Susan Sullivan pointed out that it's 9:02. Yeah, we went over. We had we were talking about earlier, are we going to have enough to talk about and all this kind of stuff? And it just kind of went over, and probably could talk another hour and be just fine with it. But
Are we not allowed to?
no, we have to. I think somebody comes behind us now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. But yeah, hopefully everybody's went and subscribed to you, and you beat that 9 subscriber thing. I saw that. It's like 9 subscribers. Come on.
Yeah, well, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, if y'all could go over there and show some love.
Yeah, yeah, Big Bear, you need to introduce him to Taco.
Taco.
Yeah, well, you'll understand later.
I like tacos.
You like tacos? Well, yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, guys, we had a fun visit. I have to get back over there and paint for Kristen and rescue my glass from her. So,
Well, just let me say thank you to all who have subscribed. Mama Cat, for one, as I can see. Dude, this was fun, man. I want to do this again.
yeah. Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll do it again. I'll get you on a chat with me and Full Spectrum one time, and we'll have a 3-guy talk. And yeah, and Yas Homestead was in here, even though he won't be on my show, because he's like, I don't know, I have nothing to talk about. But y'all go subscribe to Yas Homestead too. He's part of the Sand Mountain Community Homestead, and well, one of my moderators grab that link for Yas Homestead and put it on there so that uh, y'all can go subscribe to him too, because he's putting out quality videos too, and he's got a new iPhone that he's been playing with, and he's been sending me videos. They're like, that's a pretty good video. But anyway, yeah, y'all just did a bunch of chickens too. Y'all just processed a bunch of chickens, I saw, and
Yeah.
there's a lot you can learn from all these channels, because they're actually out there doing it. They're trying to homestead too. We're all struggling to do this. We're all one family. So so anyway, y'all go subscribe to them. And if you haven't subscribed to the Sand Mountain Homestead Community, you need to subscribe to that. And if you live close enough to us, let us know, because we always could help each other. That's what it's supposed to be about, is actually physically helping each
Yeah,
other.
absolutely. We are in North Alabama, northeast-ish Alabama. And I don't know if we have time to talk about this or not, man, but it's something I wanted to throw out. We were talking about how, this journey had brought everybody to where we need to be or where we're at right now, and brings people together who belong together. And I went to that tomato lecture thing the other day, and there was a lady there who sat down next to me, and we started talking. And when she found out that I had bees, man, her face just lit up. She's like, I came here because I wanted to find somebody who had bees. I don't care about tomatoes,
Yeah.
It's like, I've been growing tomatoes for 50 years. But I came here to see if I could find somebody who knew anything about bees. And I just happened to sit next to the one person in the room that has them. Anyway, we started talking, and she's got 20 acres in a little area of Kilpatrick around here that she wants to create an eco village, like a tiny home eco village. And I don't have a lot of details on it, but it's something that came to me because it's something that me and Skip over at Yaz Homestead, she wants to do exactly what we have been talking about doing, and building the homes and getting them out there for people to buy and put on a piece of land somewhere. And she's got the land, and she wants to do that. And I thought, how incredible is that this lady was brought, into my life through this, thing that I probably never would have been to if, on a usual day. But I don't know, I lost my train of thought. But this is something that's really awesome, and as it expands and as the possibilities start to open up here, we'll get more details about it. But anybody who might be interested in something like that, man, try to get a hold of us if you're in the North Alabama area or interested in being in the North Alabama area.
Yeah, she needs to have a booth at the homesteading event. So that way she get that's what the thing is. There'll be so many people that are wanting to homestead that haven't had their land. So I think she should be there too. So so Big Bear sub to both of y'all to Warrior Homestead. You should. I bet you broke 10.
I'm at 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Susan sub too, and there's been a few of them sub. So I'd say.
Awesome.
I hope you get along better. But yeah, we'll do another chat, and we'll get together and then see, it ain't so bad to do this, is it? So
that's pretty cool. I really don't think I could have done it by myself. But,
oh, bummer.
Still,
so I was still working on that. Yeah. Well, yeah, the chatters are so good. They help you out. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and end it now. And next time we will, maybe you can, we can have a chat with her that's wanting to do the community. Yeah, he wants to have, Big Bear wants to have you on his show. If you're interested in that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah,
don't call me up. Don't call me up the night of and say, "Hey, figure out how to do this."
Oh, like I did? Oh
no, like Skip did.
Oh, Skip did. Well, yeah, well, I was asking him to do it. But it would have been different if y'all would have been helping me paint today. Yeah, I saw that message earlier, Skip. Just not painting, all week long. I've been like, "You gonna be here Friday? Help me paint." Ask Steven, see if he'll come help me paint.
And I would have, but I had school this morning, and I hate painting. Again, I said that at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it again at closing. I hate painting. If I have to be careful. If I don't have to be careful, hey, whatever, man, we'll paint all day, whatever.
Well, you're a fellow Navy guy, Big Bear. Big Bear's a Marine, but Steven's a fellow Navy guy. So in the Navy, you paint everything, and you paint it a lot, and everybody paints.
Needle guns, and gray paint are the reason that I got out of the fleet and went into a different line of work.
Yeah, he just said even though you're a Navy guy, it was fun. He's a Navy guy too, so
Yeah.
we were your chauffeurs in carrying y'all around because y'all couldn't get around. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get in trouble. But anyway, guys, we're gonna end the show today. I really enjoyed having you as a guest, Stephen. I want to get some of them ducks. The
Right on.
bees. I've learned a lot about my bees from you, and I've continued to learn. And looking forward to. I want to catch your class on the pistol safety and all that kind of stuff. I'll be giving classes, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it or not. But
Well, I think the way the schedule is going to work is that every class is going to be available twice, except mine. Mine's going to be in the middle after the first round of classes and before the second round of classes. At least that's what I think. I don't know. We're leaving this up to Skip, so there's no telling. I might be dancing around and teaching people all day long. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. There you go. I mean, when he had me out there in the class, I mean, I literally had to walk from one class to the next class, and then back from solar to cob mixing. Just so
Yeah.
I got 15 minutes for lunch. So
I'll be teaching beekeeping and firearm safety at the same time.
That'd be pretty good. And then you shoot the gun right behind the hive.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody, okay. But anyway, that was fun. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end the show. We're gonna end up talking all night. So
yeah. All right, man.
And thanks for having me. We'll have you on again real soon, Steve. And all right, guys. I'll see y'all next time. Aquaponics on the Budget. Remember, it's Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't look for me Wednesday in the morning because
Susan is asking if I'm a certified instructor. As far as like NRA instructor, no. I'm a Naval Special Warfare range officer, safety officer. Spent 5 years in training department at my command, and yeah, I've taught a whole lot of people how to shoot guns. So I think I'm certified.
yeah, I'd say you're certified. Yeah, and teaching all of us how to use pistols. And Big Bear, we know what classes you're doing. Black soldier flies and trapping. There you go.
How to trap black soldier flies.
Yeah, how to trap black soldier flies.
All right, man. Let's close this thing out. We'll take up somebody else's time.
All right, man. Yeah, y'all have a good one. I see y'all on Tuesday. Later, guys.
See ya.